The girl was sleeping in her car in the middle of nowhere. Out of nowhere, Evans and Greg showed up and began harassing her. Evans thought the car was empty and was about to relieve himself when he noticed the girl inside. Through the window, he saw her red undergarment, and his mind immediately turned dark. Greg quickly realized what Evans was thinking. When Greg walked away, Evans couldn't wait any longer. He tried to open the car door, but failed, and the noise woke the girl. She opened her eyes, confused, only to see Evans staring at her. The girl shouted at him, telling him to leave at once, but Evans didn't leave. Instead, he started throwing crude words at her. Terrified, the girl frantically pressed the horn. The loud sound carried up the mountain, alerting her parents. Realizing their daughter might be in danger, her father quickly handed the younger son to his wife and ran down the mountain. Unfortunately, the sound also drew Greg's attention. Greg rushed over, and the girl thought her savior had arrived, but Greg was Evans's accomplice. He pointed a gun at the girl and ordered her out of the car, tears streaming down her face. The girl had no choice but to obey. She opened the car door, trembling, completely overwhelmed with fear. Luckily, her father was already rushing down the mountain. Meanwhile, her mother grew worried when neither her husband nor daughter returned. She put the little boy back inside the tent and ran toward the parked car. Soon after, the entire family was captured. Evans and Greg dragged them deep into the forest. After tormenting the girl, the two men still weren't satisfied. They decided to push things further by playing a twisted game with the family. Greg placed a beer can on the father's head, daring Evans to shoot it off. But as Evans aimed, the can fell. Annoyed, Greg set the can back up. This time Evans fired, but instead of hitting the can, he killed the father. The mother let out a heart-wrenching scream.
Your turn.
She was knocked unconscious, and when she woke, the can was on her head. This time Greg pulled the trigger. His poor aim caused him to miss, and in his rage, he shot the mother instead. Now, only the girl was left alive. Evans suggested keeping her alive, but Greg immediately ended her life with a single shot. Just when they thought the entire family was gone, Evans discovered something on the girl's phone. It revealed there was still a younger brother. The two men rushed to the family's tent, but the boy was nowhere to be found. Unbeknownst to them, the boy had already left the tent, crying as he wandered into the forest in search of his mother. At the same time, a young couple, Sam and Robin, were camping nearby. Their car tire had blown out. While Robin went back to get tools, she stumbled upon the little boy. Realizing he was still alive, she quickly picked him up, determined to get him to a hospital, but their car couldn't move with a flat tire. Just as they were about to call for help, a car pulled up. Excited, they ran to ask for help, but the driver was none other than Evans. When Evans spotted the boy, his heart sank. He knew if the boy made it to the police, their crimes would be exposed. So Evans tricked Sam, claiming he'd help him find the boy's parents. He told Robin to stay behind and watch over the child. Not long after, Evans and Sam stumbled upon the bodies of the girl and her father, but strangely, the mother's body was missing. Following a trail of blood, Evans soon discovered her barely clinging to life. As Sam tried to help her, Evans suddenly raised his shotgun from behind. Sam froze in terror, finally realizing Evans was the killer. Seizing the moment, Sam shoved Evans aside and bolted into the forest. And so, the four of them began a deadly chase in the forest. Sam and Robin became the prey, while Greg and Evans were the hunters. But Sam knew he couldn't outrun them, so he chose to find a place to hide. This left Evans without a clear target. Evans scanned the forest carefully. Suddenly, He caught sight of a figure. When he moved closer, he realized it was his own partner, Greg. Evans instantly panicked. Guilt and fear overwhelmed him. He decided to make Sam and Robin pay the ultimate price. Just then, the sound of a child's cry echoed through the forest. Evans followed the voice and found Robin. Sam, who was hiding nearby, froze in hesitation. He saw Robin being seized by Evans. Sam wanted to rush forward, but fear held him back. He could only watch helplessly. Evans snatched the little boy from Robin's arms and threw him roughly to the ground. Robin tried to run to the child, but Evans blocked her way. Then Evans grew even more violent. He tied Robin up against a tree and roughly tore at her clothes. Then he grabbed his hunting rifle and ran the cold barrel slowly across her body. Robin turned pale with fear, her eyes filled with terror and tears. She begged desperately for mercy, but Evans' goal was to make her scream. He wanted to draw Sam out of hiding, yet despite her terror, Robin stayed silent. She refused to give him the satisfaction. Meanwhile, Sam had stolen a car and was racing down the mountain road. The roar of the engine reached Evans' ears. He froze instantly. Then he pulled Robin down from the tree and dragged her with him through the woods. He knew he had to stop Sam from escaping, otherwise, the consequences would be disastrous. They soon reached the car. Evans shoved Robin inside, then slammed his foot on the gas, speeding down the mountain after Sam. Robin knew what would happen if Evans caught Sam, so she struggled desperately in the car, trying to stop him. By this time, Sam had already made it safely to the police station. He quickly joined officers in a patrol car, and they rushed back toward the forest to search for Robin. Trapped inside the car, Robin suddenly heard the sound of sirens. Her heart leapt with hope. She quickly switched on the headlights, flashing them again and again. In the dark forest, the light was impossible to miss. It caught the attention of both the police and Sam. Seeing the patrol car draw closer, Robin finally felt some relief. But danger was still lurking nearby. Evans had already anticipated that Sam would return with the police. He had set up an ambush deep in the forest. At that moment, Robin noticed Evans distracted. She seized the chance to break free. Throwing open the car door, she bolted into the woods. Evans, instead of panicking, sneered coldly. He raised his gun and aimed it straight at Sam. Then he shouted a threat. Robin had 10 seconds to come out. Otherwise, Sam would pay with his life. For Sam's sake, Robin was forced to surrender. Under Evans' orders, she was made to drive. With both Evans and Sam held captive inside the vehicle, they plunged back into the forest, trying to evade the approaching police. But Robin was no longer willing to be controlled. She had been secretly plotting her escape. She pressed harder on the gas pedal. The car picked up speed, and when Evans finally relaxed his guard, Robin seized her moment. She yanked the steering wheel sharply. The car spun out of control. It rolled violently down the forest slope. Evans met his end in that crash, and Robin finally reclaimed her freedom. In the aftermath, both she and Sam were rushed to the hospital. Fortunately, neither of them was seriously hurt. Thinking back to the terrifying ordeal in the forest, they felt both grateful and shaken. Through this nightmare, they learned something important. When danger strikes without warning, staying calm and thinking smartly is the key to survival.